In the early ages of the 90s, entertainment was not about screens or clicks. It lived inside tents, ran on gasps, and thrived on the unexpected. Crowds didn't come for comfort. They came to be shaken. Behind every curtain was a human story twisted into something no one could unsee. These weren't myths, actors, or tricks. They were real, standing under the spotlight with truths stranger than fiction. What you're about to watch isn't staged or scripted. It's raw history. Let's take a look at 15 of the most shocking circus freaks that truly walked this earth. So prepare yourself, they are just ahead. Number 15. Chang and Eng Bunker, original Siamese twins. Two men lived one life, literally. Bound together from birth, yet stubbornly determined to shape their own futures, Chang and Eng rewrote every expectation placed on them. Their story wasn't a spectacle. It was a rebellion, and nothing about the path they carved could have been predicted by anyone watching. Their lives took shape long before fame found them, beginning in Siam in 1811, where they were born connected at the sternum by a short, flexible band of cartilage. The world first met them through traveling exhibitions in the 1820s, but the spotlight didn't define everything about them. After arriving in the United States, they became naturalized citizens, purchased land in North Carolina, and ran farms like any other hard-working men of the time. They married two sisters, created two separate households they rotated between, and raised an astonishing 21 children. Their daily routines, responsibilities, and choices showed how determined they were to live as independently as their bodies allowed. Number 14. Joseph Merrick, the Elephant Man. Imagine a world so cruel that simply walking outside required enormous courage. Yet one man transformed that cruelty into dignity. Joseph Merrick's life wasn't defined by his condition, but by the quiet strength he carried like armor. His story pulls you in before you even realize you've stopped breathing. His journey began in Leicester in 1862, where unusual growths and deformities appeared early and gradually changed the course of his entire life. These features sparked endless medical questions that still don't have a clear answer. Circuses and sideshow promoters displayed him across Victorian England, and although the attention brought money, it never offered stability or safety. That finally came when the London hospital accepted him, giving him a room of his own and the kindness he had rarely experienced. His enlarged head forced him to sleep upright to avoid suffocation, a challenge he lived with until 1890, when he died from asphyxiation after trying to rest his head in a normal sleeping position. Number 13. Schlitzie Surtees, famous pinhead. Crowds saw a sideshow act. Those who looked closer saw someone who lit up every room he entered. Schlitzie lived with a condition few understood, yet he became unforgettable for reasons that had nothing to do with posters or circuses. His presence made people question what different even meant. His life was shaped by microcephaly, a condition that resulted in a small skull and limited cognitive development, but he found steady purpose inside the circus world. He performed under major companies like Ringling Bros, where his enthusiasm, gestures, and unmistakable personality earned him a loyal following. Much of his life was spent under guardianship, moving from one caretaker to another, yet he remained a familiar face wherever the circus traveled. His role in the 1932 film Freaks brought him into mainstream attention, capturing the warmth he showed audiences every day. Let's jump ahead. The next life we uncover adds a whole new twist. Number 12. Fedor Jeftichou, Jojo the Dog-Faced Boy. Before cameras, before fame, there was a boy whose face sparked more myths than truth. Fedor Jeftichou didn't choose the legend wrapped around him, yet he carried it with a strange kind of grace. His life blurs the line between performance and reality in ways that still echo today. People first noticed him because of the thick hair that covered his face and body, a result of hypertrichosis that he inherited from his father, who was also publicly exhibited. Promoters like P.T. Barnum built a wild man story around him, convincing crowds they were watching something untamed, even though Fedor was simply a quiet Russian boy born in 1868. He spent much of his life touring across the United States, performing for packed tents and curious audiences who wanted to see the dog-faced boy. Behind the act, he lived a demanding routine of travel, grooming, and endless public attention until his life ended at just 35. Number 11. Lionel the Lion-Faced Man, Stefan Bobrowski. One look at Stefan Bobrowski, and you'd expect a wild creature. Instead, you'd meet a multilingual gentleman with the calmest voice in the tent. His appearance drew crowds, but his intellect stunned them. His life was a reminder that first impressions can be wildly, almost hilariously, wrong. His entire body was covered with long, soft hair due to hypertrichosis, yet he moved through the world with a polished ease that surprised nearly everyone. Born in Poland in 1890, he began performing in European shows before Barnum and Bailey brought him to American audiences, who couldn't believe someone with such a dramatic appearance could speak several languages fluently. He treated his time on stage as work, not identity, and lived a far more refined life than people assumed. Later, he returned to Germany, continuing smaller shows and quiet routines until he died in 1932. Stay with me. The next figure pushes the limits even further. Number 10. Prince Randian, the human torso. People came expecting shock. What they got was a masterclass in human capability. Prince Randian completed tasks most people struggle with, and he did them without arms or legs. Every movement he made forced audiences to question the limits they quietly placed on themselves without even noticing. Born in British Guiana in 1871 with tetra amelia syndrome, he grew up learning to navigate the world using only the muscles in his torso, neck, and jaw. That early discipline shaped his lifelong act, where he astonished viewers by lighting cigarettes, writing, and handling small objects with remarkable precision. He spent decades touring with Barnum-related shows across the United States, becoming one of the most respected performers in the sideshow world. His small but memorable appearance in the 1932 film Freaks captured just a fraction of what he could do on stage. Audiences didn't walk away thinking about his limitations. They remembered everything he managed to accomplish without them. Number 9. Annie Jones, iconic bearded lady. Annie Jones didn't hide the beard she was born with. She used it to become one of the most recognizable performers of her era. But behind the posters stood a woman who challenged labels, defied mockery, and reclaimed her identity in an industry built on exaggeration. Her story began in Virginia in 1865, where she was born with a full sweep of facial hair that drew attention from the moment she opened her eyes. P.T. Barnum brought her into the spotlight while she was still a child, and she quickly became one of the highest-paid bearded women of the time. Her popularity came from more than appearance. She spoke well, carried herself with confidence, and refused to let anyone reduce her to a gimmick. As she grew older, she pushed back against the word freak, arguing publicly that performers deserved respect, not ridicule. Her life inside the circus world blended success, independence, and a constant fight for dignity. Number 8. Isaac W. Sprague, the living skeleton. Isaac Sprague's frame shocked anyone who saw him, yet his life wasn't the tragedy people assumed. His story reveals what happens when a medical mystery collides with showmanship, survival, and an unwavering will to adapt. He lived on his own terms, even in a body that refused to cooperate. His condition began in adolescence in Massachusetts during the 1840s, when he suddenly started losing weight for reasons doctors couldn't explain. Despite eating normally, his body dropped to around 40 pounds, leaving him weak enough to need harnesses just to stand for long periods. The sideshow world became a way to support himself, and Barnum and Bailey featured him heavily because audiences couldn't believe how thin he truly was. Behind the curtain, he worked hard to keep up with travel, perform safely, and manage constant fatigue while still maintaining a sense of humor. His small frame didn't stop him from building relationships, earning income, and staying active within the circus life he depended on. Number 7. Ella Harper, the Camel Girl. Ella Harper walked into the spotlight with legs that bent backward, yet her story unfolded in the opposite direction, toward ambition, education, and quiet determination. She stepped away from the circus long before anyone expected, proving she wasn't defined by the role the world wanted her to play. Her unusual knee condition, genu recurvatum, shaped the way she moved and made her a standout performer when the nickel plate circus featured her in the late 1800s. Born in 1870, she quickly became known as the Camel Girl, earning wages far higher than many performers around her. Despite the money and attention, she never saw circus life as permanent. After several years of touring, she chose to leave the stage entirely, focusing instead on schooling and building a private path away from crowds and posters. All right, don't blink now, because the next one is beyond imagination. Number 6. Frank Lentini, the Three-Legged Man. Most performers built careers on illusions. Frank Lentini didn't need illusions. He had an actual third leg. But the real surprise wasn't his condition. It was the life he built around it. Confidence, humor, and charisma turned him from a curiosity into a legend that outshone the spectacle. His life began in Sicily in 1889, where he was born with a parasitic twin that formed a fully functioning third leg, along with extra foot structures and duplicated genitalia. Doctors and locals were stunned, but the circus world saw someone who could handle the stage with ease. When he arrived in America, he built a long performing career with major circuses, traveling constantly and earning steady respect for how naturally he moved through his act. He eventually became a U.S. citizen, built a calm family life, and kept performing for decades. Number 5. Martin Lorello, the Human Owl. Turn your head as far as you can. Martin Lorello could turn his far enough to make crowds gasp and performers whisper. His spine didn't follow the same rules as everyone else's, and neither did his career. Watching him felt like witnessing biology misbehave in real time. He was born in Germany around 1885, and his spine developed in a way that allowed him to rotate his head over 120 degrees, something doctors struggled to fully understand. This rare ability carried him from European shows to American stages, where Coney Island and other sideshows featured him heavily. Audiences showed up expecting a trick, only to realize his movement was real. He added small performances like animal training to keep his act fresh, and his flexibility made him one of the most memorable performers of his generation. Number 4. Jean Libera, the Man with Two Bodies. Jean Libera carried a twin fused to his torso, a second, undeveloped body that never lived yet shaped every part of his existence. His condition fascinated doctors and stunned audiences, but beneath the spectacle was a man navigating life with a burden no one else could truly understand. Born in Italy in 1884, he grew up with a parasitic twin attached to his abdomen, complete with limbs and a partial trunk that made him one of the most unusual figures in exhibition history. Crowds were drawn to the sight, and he toured widely across Europe before eventually performing in the United States. His brother Jacques shared a similar condition, which only intensified public interest. Medical professionals examined him everywhere he traveled, trying to study the rare fusion, while showmen booked him for packed appearances. Number 3. Daisy and Violet Hilton, conjoined twins. Daisy and Violet Hilton shared a body but refused to share a fate written by others. They mastered music, performance, and business long before escaping controlling guardians. Their story isn't just about being conjoined, it's about two women fighting for autonomy in a world that treated them as property. Their beginning traces back to Brighton in 1908, where they were born as pygopagus twins, joined at the hips and lower spine. From childhood, they were trained intensely in music, dance, stage routines, and live performance, skills that eventually shaped their entire careers. Success in American vaudeville brought them fame, but the money rarely reached their hands due to the guardians who controlled their contracts. Court cases later helped them win the independence they had been denied for years. Once free, they continued performing as skilled entertainers rather than medical curiosities, building their careers around talent rather than the condition that made them so recognizable. Number 2. Johnny Eck, the half-boy. Johnny Eck didn't have legs, but he moved through life like someone who refused to slow down for anything. Acrobat, actor, magician, he collected titles the way others collect souvenirs. His energy overshadowed every limitation people assumed he had before he even opened his mouth. Baltimore in 1911 marked the start of his life, shaped by sacral agenesis, a condition that prevented the development of his lower body. Yet his height and agility turned him into a standout performer the moment he entered the circus world. He gained early attention as an acrobat, then expanded into magic shows, model building, and even painting. The film Freaks in 1932 elevated him further, introducing him to audiences far beyond circus tents. Through all of it, he kept working, creating, and entertaining with a confidence that made people forget the limitations they assumed would define him. Number 1. Myrtle Corbin, the four-legged woman. Myrtle Corbin entered the world with 4 legs and 2 pelvises, but what made her story remarkable wasn't her anatomy. It was the life she built around it. She balanced motherhood, fame, and medical curiosity with a steadiness few could match, turning a rare condition into an extraordinary legacy. Her birth in Tennessee in 1868 revealed dipygus, a rare duplication of the lower body that resulted in 2 pelvises and 4 legs. Doctors examined her constantly in childhood, fascinated by how fully formed each side was. The sideshow world embraced her immediately, and she became one of the most popular performers of the late 1800s. Despite the attention, she lived a surprisingly grounded domestic life after marrying young. Her dual reproductive systems allowed her to have 5 children, a fact that amazed medical journals and kept her name in constant discussion. Incredible lives like these deserve a place where they're remembered, discussed, and appreciated, and your voice helps keep that energy moving forward. Drop a like if you enjoyed spending time with these remarkable figures, leave a comment, and share this video with your friends. And if you want more powerful content crafted with the same passion, make sure you subscribe. And truly appreciate you being here and giving this channel your time.